The Yankees!
I'm not a rubbing in guy, but if you want to start the ball busting, if you want to start the shit talk, and if you want to start this whole Yankees lose when you take a beloved Yankee like John Sterling, and then you want to laugh and giggle in our stadium with Big Sloppy on national TV, fuck you then. How about that?
I thought what Buck Martinez said about the Yankees.
That's when Buck Martinez started saying, you know, the Yankees aren't a good team.
So Toronto is not an underdog, okay? Let's get that absolutely clear. When Toronto has the second highest payroll in all of Major League Baseball, all right, and next year they're going to have the third highest payroll in all of baseball, it kind of loses the Cinderella story and the David versus Goliath story, because literally the Toronto Blue Jays need to put a gun to somebody's head for them to come north of the border. Not to mention, let's tie this into the Mets there, Mike, because the Mets just paid Max Scherzer for the last 2 years to win a championship with the Texas Rangers, and he was in a Game 7 last night to win with the Toronto Blue Jays. So literally, Uncle Stevie Cohen just paid Max Scherzer to go to the World Series twice. So how are you feeling about that, Mike?
I feel great because it shows you that Steve Cohen does pay the correct players to get to the big dance. It's just depending on whether they're on the Mets or another team or not. That's a whole different. That's a whole different question.
Whoa!
I love the point about the Blue Jays, because that's all you heard all postseason. Oh, this story's beautiful. What story?
Yeah,
they just paid Vlad $500 million.
They have the highest payroll in all of the AL East.
It's ridiculous.
The Yankees are going to have the third highest payroll in the AL East next year. Because, you know, I got to admit, Hal Steinbrenner, he runs it like a mom and pop shop now. And if you guys want to check it out, we did that, me and Patty Playoffs did that episode on how much money that franchise has put back into their baseball team. Uncle Stevie Cohen, first of all, put $444 million into his team last year. He only made $44 million profit last year from his ball club. $400 million. He made 444. He pocketed for. Do you know $44 million for Stephen Cohen is like a night out in Manhattan, like a heavy drinking night out in Manhattan? That's what it is for Steve Cohen. That's like a 50 grand night for him. And that's why I'm always asking Steve Cohen on the beautiful Sunday that we have today, Uncle Steve, could you please buy the New York Jets? I'm asking you right now, it would be a great move. Listen to this. Uncle Stevie, you bring the Jets home to Queens. The revitalization with the casino, with the redoing of Belmont. Governor Hochul put all that money into Belmont. Why can't they just do the Jets, Citi Field, and a casino, make it a destination, make it a great place to come to? And please, sir, because you are the best owner in all of sports. Any owner that only pockets $44 million, when your owner is only pocketing $6 million less than what Juan Soto is making a year, you actually give a shit about your team. Unlike Hal Steinbrenner, who has the Baltimore Orioles and the Kansas City Royals, the Boston Red Sox, and the Toronto Blue Jays in front of them in how much money they put back into a franchise. 47.6% of the money goes back into the Yankees roster. That's fucking bullshit, okay? So now the Toronto Blue Jays, they're not an underdog. I don't want to hear about all this small ball bullshit when you got Max Scherzer. Look at their starting rotation. You got millions of dollars all over the place. You just overpaid $500 million for 23 home runs in the regular season of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And by the way, watching you cry, "Ah! Blue I felt so good about that. Him and Big Sloppy, okay? First of all, fuck both of you guys, okay? Second of all, to the Toronto Blue Jay fans, I just want to say to you guys, this is all joking aside. This is all WWE aside. I want to appreciate your support. I'm just having a little fun today. You guys have been a big supporter of this channel, and I want to give you a shout out. But you guys were acting like you won the fucking World Series already, guys. You guys were up 2 games at home, man. You had game 6 and game 7 with a rested bullpen and a rested starting rotation, bro. What are you guys doing? That's one of the biggest collapses I've seen. And also, if you're going to talk shit to the Yankees, you're going to have to learn how to suck it up and lose. How does it feel to lose a game 7 like us against the Diamondbacks? Have you ever went into a World Series and been listless like we did against the Marlins? You know, guys, if you want to be a big boy in the AL East now, you're going to have to learn how to lose too. And I know a lot of you guys like Jeff and the motivator over there and the guys that follow my channel. Listen, man, I feel for you guys. But welcome to the big boys table. I told Mike after he got Juan Soto, welcome to the big boys table. Now the Blue Jays and the Mets are both sitting at the big boys table.
Yeah, you're going to have to suck it up. It's too bad. You suck it up. This is what happens. And you hope that you get back there next year. But the problem is you're not going to get back there next. There's no guarantee you're getting back there next year.
Yeah,
this is the problem. So you have to take advantage of when you're there. You're up 3-2 with 2 games to go. You had runners in scoring position up the ass for 2 games, and you blew it multiple times. If your catcher didn't look like me, but 2 feet shorter, he would have hit a ball up the middle and would have been able to beat out the double play. Nobody feels bad. Screw the Blue Jays. Screw the Dodgers. I'm ready for the lockout after the Mets win next year.
Like Robert De Niro said in Copland, you blew it. You had your chance and you blew it. Go to lunch. Yeah, absolutely.
Was there any rooting interest for you at all with the with the Don being on the Blue Jays?
With who?
The Don.
Don Mattingly.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, fuck Don Mattingly. Okay.
A lot of Yankee fans were calling up like the station saying, "Oh, I hope he does get a ring." You know.
Listen, just so anybody doesn't get any mixed ideas, I'm a Yankee fan. Okay. This is going to be a little bit of a hot take. Fuck Don Mattingly. Okay. I'm tired of hearing about Don Mattingly. Oh, he's a bench coach for the Blue Jays. I'd like to see him win a chip. First of all, it's not the same as winning a World Series as a player. Second of all, every single year we get away from Don Mattingly's career, he gets better and better. Don Mattingly isn't a Hall of Famer, okay? Don Mattingly wasn't a winning player during his tenure on the New York Yankees. Do you notice all those grand slams he hit that year were into empty fucking seats? And I hear him on the Michael Kay show the other day going, there was no wild card when I played. So win the division, Donnie. Okay? If your name wasn't Mattingly, if you didn't have that stash, nobody would have fucking liked you. Gold Glove first baseman, absolutely. Did you have a great 8 years? Absolutely, Donnie. You had an amazing 8 years. Were you a terrible coach who took over for Joe Torre again in the LA Dodgers in your first coaching performance? Absolutely. Were you terrible with the Marlins when you took over for Coach of the Year, Joe Girardi? Yeah, you were bad there too. Did your team, the Toronto Blue Jays, just choke it out at the Rogers Center, which was the Sky Dome at the time, just like your team in '95 choked it against the Mariners when Ken Griffey scored from first base to home on Jimmy Leyritz? So, I don't, that Donnie's a good story. Fuck him, okay? I don't know.
So
did I cover all my bases on the Don Mattingly thing? Did I make my point clear?
So that's a no, right? You didn't want Don Mattingly winning the ring.
No, yeah. But getting back to your first question, sorry about that, guys. I know it's the day of the Lord, and I'm sorry. By the way, my window's open, and I have this playing through my speakers in my office, and I'm just cursing, and there's people trying to enjoy their day, and I'm screaming about the World Series. And then Yeah, dude, I was locked in. I watched every single game. I got the guilt. Patty Playoffs, you can see him here during the week. We do our show during the week. He guilted me because you're not going to watch the World Series? Because, like, he texted me, and here's the text. Hey, who do you want to win? I wrote, no one. I hope one of those huge worms from Dune swallows the Rogers Center whole for Game 7.
I wonder where they would play it if that happened.
Can you still hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pressing buttons for no fucking reason. Yeah, so I wanted one of the worms to eat them. But, dude, this was a fall classic. It really pains me to say that. But, yeah, man, this was an amazing World Series. You got Ohtani. You got all the storylines. You got Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's fuck him, and fuck his dad, okay? And fuck Big Sloppy, okay? Duh! Blue Jays lose.
I mean, you can't cry when you do stuff like that to the Yankees.
Dude, I am not. Listen, man, I am not a rub it in kind of guy. I literally checked in on 6 different Blue Jays fans earlier today. And Mike, you even know I've checked in. I think I've checked in on you before with the Mets and the Giants just to see how the psyche's doing. I'm not a rub it in guy. But if you want to start the fucking ball busting, if you want to start the shit talk, and if you want to start this whole Yankees lose when you take a beloved Yankee like John Sterling, the announcer, and you make fun of his call from Big Sloppy after he swept us, and then you want to laugh and giggle in our stadium with Big Sloppy on national TV, fuck you then. How about that? Second of all, the Yankees should have beat the Toronto Blue Jays so that these guys don't say the Yankees lose. So I'm not pinning it all on the Blue Jays. If you win, yeah, man, talk all this shit you want, but you better back it up because you just lost back-to-back games at home in the World Series. After Game 5, you were about to clinch. You were an out away from clinching last night, and you let it all slip away.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I harping back to like the Mets. It always goes back to the Mets. Even the Yankees last year. The Mets lost to the Royals in 5 games 10 years ago, and it didn't hurt that much, if I'm being honest. Because if you get taken out early, it's like being a victim of like John Wayne Gacy. If he takes you out early, you're not going to feel the pain. But if he drags it along because you're one of his favorites, and it's going to hurt a little more.
Bro, I was going to say something. That was great. I totally, it's like John Wayne Gacy, you know?
It all goes back to John JWC or whatever his name is. If you lose in 5 and you don't get dragged around like the Toronto Blue Jays did, losing in extra innings in game 4, I think, or 3, it went to 18 innings. Then you come back the next 2 days and you just put it on the Dodgers on the road, setting yourself up for complete and utter heartbreak or failure. Dude, if I was you, I would answer it just like this, the way I'm going to ask you. I would much rather lose in the fashion the Yankees and the Mets lost the past 2 World Series we've been in than what just happened to Toronto.
It's like better to have loved than never to have loved and lost, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
I think John Wayne Gacy came up with that line too.
He definitely did.
Yeah, I'd be like, I was going to ask you, it's funny, man. I was going to ask you the same thing. Being a Met fan, right? Would you rather have not even gotten into the dance rather than lose in the last out 7th inning, extra innings in your own building? I say, give me the quick one, man. Give me the quick death.
Yeah, because for personally, the quick death for me might mean my owner getting even more frivolous with his money and spending different money. If a guy like Cohen gets this specific Met team to the dance 1 out away, he's not making any changes. So I don't need that.
Yeah.
I needed a few changes, but without knowing anything, give me the quick shot to the head instead of just dragging me along all the way.
Yeah, I want to be. Yeah, give me Joe Pesci's death in Goodfellas. Don't give me Joe Pesci's death in Casino.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Like, just give me the quick tap to the back of the head. Also, I wanted to touch on when you talked about 2015, and it didn't sting that much. You know why? Because that 2015 Mets team was very similar to the 1998 New York Knicks team with Grandmama. It was an icing on the cake kind of year. It was like You were like
Yeah.
Baby Bombers 2.0. You thought you were going to be back there every single year with Syndergaard, with Matt Harvey. And that just proves more of your point, Mike, is that you're not going to be back. Like, every single team that makes it to the World Series thinks that they're going to be back next year. Like, I wish the season would start tomorrow so you can get that momentum going and shit like that. It's exactly what I was thinking, looking at the Toronto Blue Jays. And I think that's what sunk into Vladimir Guerrero Jr. last night was before this season started with Toronto, they were talking about if the window was closed, if the window was closing. Now you have Gossman, who looks like he lives in a methadone clinic. You have Max Scherzer, who's as old as a fossil. Then you have Bichette, who's going to be gonzo. So now, you got these guys, and Vladdy's going to be sitting around with kind of like an empty team. And I texted my buddy right after the game last night, and this wasn't any shade or anything like that. I just wrote Toronto Blue Jays 3rd place in the AL East.
I can easily say it.
That's exactly where they're going to wind up because also when you do make it to the top of the mountain, it's hard to get back there. Look at the 1996 Yankees. They lost the next year in the 97 against the Cleveland Indians in a really tough series. It happens to a lot of guys. Look at the Yankees last year, the way that they lost to the Dodgers in the World Series. What did we hear all postseason after postseason? We heard that the New York Yankees and the Dodgers were on a collision course to the World Series again. And I knew, as a Yankee fan, this was not the year. The Yankees were not that guy, okay? It's next year. They were loading up the Death Star for next year. But right now, if we're talking about this year, the Toronto Blue Jays and the Dodgers, as far as World Series are considered, Mike, is this the best World Series you've ever seen?
Yeah, I think I'd have to go probably this one, 0-1 with Arizona. I hated the outcome, even everybody was rooting for the Yankees in 0-1. That one.
Hold on, real quick. I was going to ask you that. You were rooting for the Yankees in 0-1?
100%.
How
yeah,
old
just
were you?
the whole I was 0-1 was I was 11.
Okay, yeah, that's why you were rooting for him. Okay.
So yeah, with everything that happened that year, I think if you weren't rooting for the Yankees, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you.
You had a suicide vest on. Did you?
Yeah.
Quick question: would 20-year-old Mike have been pulling for the Yanks?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. First of all, I don't even know if it's the same year. I just never have been able to say this while a video camera was rolling. The greatest moment in baseball history was when Bobby Valentine wore that fake mustache in the dugout. And I'm not fucking around. I fell in love with Bobby Valentine the day that he did that. And the fact that all of the Met fans wanted him out of town, bro, think about this for a second. Where did he get the fake mustache nose combo from? Did he send a player out or a staff member out to a party city to go acquire it after he was ejected? Or did he have this in his desk, premeditated the whole time, knowing if he gets kicked out, he's going into the top draw and he's bringing out the Party City fake nose, fake glass combo. And he's going right into the dugout. One of the greatest times ever as a baseball fan.
That was true genius. If you even if you're an umpire or if you're like the commissioner,
you got to give him credit, right?
You got to laugh at that. You shouldn't even you don't even throw him out at that point. Yeah. You turned a blind eye because of the genius of it and you never see crap like that, especially nowadays.
So good. And and that's the thing. That's what this World Series kind of got back to, man, was old school baseball. You saw everything. Dude, I mean, like, every scenario played out in this World Series. I actually, you know what? I texted my friend and he goes, wow, what a crazy World Series. And I go, dude, it was like somebody asked a 12-year-old little leaguer to write the script of a World Series. And that's exactly verbatim what they did. It was like a 12-year-old little leaguer writing the script for a baseball game so he could stay up later past his curfew. And then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes in and hits another home run. I think
the only thing that stops it from probably being the greatest was the fact that we don't get the walk-off shot from the home team to win it all.
And
that's where I would separate it with the 0-1 World Series.
Totally agree, Mike. And last night, you almost had a World Series be won on a replay. Remember that play at home last night when the Blue Jay guy, he's sliding into home. I forget what inning it was, 9th inning. And there was a play at the plate. Oh, bases juiced. Luis Rojas, the plays at home. He almost went to first, forgetting how many outs there is, and then he rifles it into home. They get him out at home. But Will Smith's foot goes up and then goes back down, and they had to replay it. You don't want the World Series being dictated on an instant replay where because first of all, the Major League Baseball, the instant replay, their microphone always cuts out. You never hear them in the building or on at they really need to work on it. Like, how can you not get that right? But so let's go real quick to the comment section, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. It's because we have a bunch of people that watch. A lot of these Toronto Blue Jay fans love to watch me melt down on my Yankee post games, which is, I kind of love them and I hate them at the same time because they're supporting me and they're watching me melt down for a reason. But first of all, Canadians are just so goddamn nice. Thanks, guys, by the way. And also, it's been really, really cool experience with you guys going through all this, all the ball busting back and forth. People even reached out and were like, come to my house, stay at my place, and let's go to the playoffs. I was like, you're going to kidnap me, thinking I'm the Yankees mascot. So I'm going to say no to that. But guys, thanks for the hospitality. I really appreciate it. Let's go to the comments. Nick, who is a big Blue Jays fan, Yankees lose. Well, thank you for adding to that great. Thank you for adding such an astounding comment. Paranormal. Hey man, great World Series. Absolutely. I'm with you, brother David Williams. Thank you. I don't know what you're with me for, but I'm with you too, man. Let's go. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Greatest World Series for sure. I thought they were going to do another 15 innings. That's what I was rooting for last night, was it just to keep going and to keep going and to keep going. David Williams, F Canada, you all feel worse than us. I don't know what that means. Then we do, okay, I'm staying away from the comments. Anyway, what I wanted to bring up was the ball in Game 6 on the fly getting wedged into the wall. Now, Mike, the internet crushes my brain sometimes, okay? Because I put a video up and I was like, dude, I've never really seen this before, where the ball on a fucking fly, it doesn't hit the ground, doesn't hit the wall, it gets wedged in right in between that wall. And I go, I've never really seen that before. And everyone in the comments like, you've never seen that? Boy, it happens all the time in Wrigley. It's like, bro, people don't contextually get things anymore.
No.
They have ChatGPT brain. They're like, I'm like, yo, so you're telling me at Wrigley, it gets wedged underneath the concrete wall? No, it gets stuck in the ivy. So where's the ivy in Toronto? I've never seen a ball get wedged on the fly underneath a wall, okay? So now you know what this means, Mike, right?
There's going to be a rule change next year?
Well, yes. Good point. That wasn't the question the answer I was looking for, but that was perfect. No, everyone's saying it's fixed.
Oh, people got to stop with this shit with the Dodgers. I mean, they're acting like the Dodgers are just some up and coming lucky team that just never wins. When the Dodgers just win, and when you're in the spotlight, it's sort of like the whole thing with the Chiefs. Everybody thinks the NFL rigs games for the Chiefs. When you're in the spotlight, as much as these teams are, like the Dodgers and the Chiefs, and you're constantly on national television, you're going to be exposed to more bad calls from the umpires or the refs. It's just factual. That's the game. You're not going to care about Mets Marlins in game 58 if the Mets are getting screwed in back-to-back games because they're not on national TV. These are big-time games. So the ball got wedged. That's the rule. Look it up. It's common sense.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like, I'm like, I've never seen this before. And they're like, oh, forget. Obviously, you don't play baseball. Yeah,
Do you watch sports?
I'm fucking 42. Yeah, I don't play baseball. Absolutely, man. Like, when I did and my body didn't creak like a wooden floor or an old ship, I played collegiate lacrosse, okay? So, no, I didn't play baseball my whole life. Yeah, you don't. And by the way, if you're on the internet and you're underneath the age of 28, don't write, "You don't know ball."